Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from Group 8. There are 5 members in this group. The member is Rosa Pasana Ramadana, Raska Ferusidki, Fauzan Nugraha, Christian Nur Muhammad, and Tiara Junita. So today we are discuss our report article on data analysis steps using Wodak's approach. In the field of education, the school zoning policy has been a controversial topic, particularly regarding equitable access to education and its impact on students, parents, and educational institutions. The article titled Education via School, Discoursive Strategies of School Zone System in Tempo, written by Agis Andriani and Fuad Abdullah, examines how this policy is debated in the media. The study employs critical discourse analysis to uncover the discursive strategies used in public discourse concerning Indonesia's school zoning system. The purpose of this presentation is to outline the steps for data analysis using Wodak's approach to critical discourse analysis. Wodak's approach, known as the discourse theoretical approach, is highly relevant as it helps us understand how power, ideology, and place are represented in text and public discourse. Through this analysis, we can reveal the linguistic stages used to shape public opinion on the school zoning system and its impact on educational access.
Okay, next for the overview. Ruth Wodak's Discourse Historical Approach, DHA, in Critical Discourse Analysis, CDA, highlights the role of historical, social, and political context in shaping discourse, emphasizing linguistic strategies and power relations. It examines how language constructs meaning, influences this perception, and reinforces authority. Applying this approach, the study Education Fiasco, Discursive Strategies of School Zone System in Tempo, analyzed Tempo magazine's representation of Indonesia school zoning policy by tracing historical policy, change, identifying discursive strategies, and exploring language role in shaping public perception and policy legitimacy. This reflects Wodak's focus on how discourse constructs and contests power in education debates. Next, for step-by-step data analysis process. Step 1, data collection. In the article Education Fiasco Discursive Strategies of School Zone System in Tempo, data was collected through textual discourse analysis of Tempo magazine. The study examines how the school zoning system is represented in the media using a critical linguistic approach to identify discursive strategies employed in public discourse. And step 2, contextual analysis. The research considers social, cultural, and historical context in analyzing the school zoning system. Socially, it explored the educational policy in Indonesia and its impact on society. Culturally, it examines how societal values regarding education influence public acceptance of the zoning system. Historically, the study investigates change in Indonesia educational policies and how media such as Tempo frames the debate surrounding the system. Next will deliver by uh, Razka Perusidki.
All right. Step 3, discourse analysis. This article focuses on how the media frames narratives about the school zoning system. This research analyzes various arguments from various parties, including parents, government, and schools. Through this approach, the research reveals how the school zoning system is in the public sphere. Next is step 4, ideological analysis. Critical discourse analysis is the tool used in this research to study how the school zoning system is structured by conducting an ideological analysis of the news broadcast in the media. The article in Tempo uses certain terms to describe the actors in the zoning policy, such as government, favorite schools, and parents. And this choice of terms shows a certain ideological position. For example, how the government is positioned as a policymaker that controls access to education, and the media says bad things about zoning rules and shows that they're unfair. Based on this research, the way the media portrays the school zoning system isn't neutral, but rather represents an ideological conflict between official policy narratives and community experiences. Last one is step 5, interpretation of findings. The study uses language, power, and social change as lenses that enable it to analyze its findings. The discourse in Tempo shows how language is used to shape public opinion about the school zoning system. The government is in control of the policy narrative, but the media plays a role in challenging this dominance by presenting the perspective of disadvantaged communities. And persistent criticism of the zoning system in the media can drive policy change. So this research saw that apart from being an education policies, the school's zoning system reflects social inequality and power conflicts in public discourse.
And the next explanation is about examples from the article. The first example is nomination strategies. The article names Muhajir Effendi, Education and Culture Minister, as the primary social actor responsible for the school zone policy. The use of we creates solidarity between the writer and readers, positioning them as collective victims of the policy. And the next example is predication strategies. The policy is described as generating a long queue of registration. Parents protest because of backdoor allowance, unskilled officials, and Mohajir is critiqued as a policymaker who did not have many consideration. The next example is argumentation strategies. This article acknowledges the claim benefits of the policy, but immediately counters it with criticism. Education is not a conjuring trick. The next example is perspectivization strategies. Tempo positioned itself as a critical voice against the government, citing its historical role in challenging authority since the 1970s. Contrast Tempo's freedom of speech ideology with the government's power to rule. And the last example is intensification mitigation strategies. Intensification praises like another education fiasco and completely failed, amplify negative perceptions. And mitigation briefly notes the policy's good aim before dismissing it.
In conclusion, it has been shown that Wodak's Discourse Historical Analysis, or DHA, reveals the relationship between language, ideology, and power in the public discourse and on Indonesia's school zoning system. The analysis of Tempo's coverage shows the media's oppositional stance towards the government and therefore underscores the ideological struggle between the dominant discourse and lived reality. This research proves through nomination, predication, and argumentation that public discourse is systematically and socially produced and constructed through negative social stratification. The research demonstrates the usefulness of DHA in appreciating a more in-depth analysis of policy controversies and confirms the need to research discourse in other contentious policy areas. Thank you. Maybe that's all the presentation of Group 8. Thank you for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.